Hello YouTube, and this will be my first video, and I'm gonna just show you guys the things I did in art school in the first year, because I figured some of you who may be in art school or are interested in going may actually be interested in the things we are doing there. Quick disclaimer before we start. I am studying in Germany, so this might not align with the curriculum in other countries. And our whole system is a bit special in this school because in the first year you kind of do all of the 11 subjects and then pick 3 of them that you do for the following years. So these are basically of all the 11 subjects, which could be pretty helpful for a lot of people who might study different things all in the art spectrum. Yeah, and I am gonna start with graphic design. And this was the first assignment we had, which was just doing collages of cutouts from cool architecture he gave us. And we had to we had to print the papers out and then cut the individual parts of it, which was honestly very fucking tedious, but I think these turned out okay. There's the other one. And while I do like these, we also had a digital one we did. And let me just get it up real quick. I do like the digital one more, just because it honestly kind of looks like it is not a collage, which is kind of missing the point of the assignment a bit. But if you look closely, I put this kind of glass roof into this church, and it's going into another church's rooms and stuff. And I think a quick spoiler, I think it turned out quite neat, honestly. Yeah. As the next assignment was this one, I think, yes. We had to do the scene, and yeah, I'm gonna be very honest with all of you. I hate graphic design. The first assignment wasn't that bad, but I am not very fond of the teacher, and it's not really my passion to do graphic design. I'm more of the illustrator guy. So, yeah, I might have rushed this by a lot and did it the night before, and then had a panic attack when realizing that you have to glue these pages together with the layout thingy in the Adobe programs, and it might have ended up looking like dog shit. So yeah, all the text is in German as well, so most of y'all don't even even for the Germans, don't bother to read this, because I just copied text from things about this guy, Nicholas Troxler, which I had to do the scene about. We had to take one of them. I don't really know much about this artist, but it wasn't really about actually doing the text, but it was about layouting a booklet. So I did, yeah. So all of the text is just copied from other things in the internet about this guy. It's kind of about him, but the way it is cut doesn't really make sense. Yeah, you can all see me perfect. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna first show these, even though these I did later. It's like, these are like A3, so they look really good. You can tell that I did not enjoy doing these. I just took, I took this brush and my other big brush that's like over there, and like just, because you just wanted abstract forms somewhere. And we also had to do those things with, I also did it with like paper cutouts, but I cannot find them, so they were not better in any way, so I think you'll live without seeing them. I'm very sorry for everyone who's like very interested in graphic design. It's a very cool field and I don't hate it, but it's just really not my thing. The one that I enjoyed the most in this whole class is too big to show on this in this way. It's like this whole A1 poster. Okay. I do have it digitally, do I? I should have it digitally somewhere. I do not. Wow, that... I might just like put a picture of it on the screen. I do really like that one because I was able to do that one in Clip Studio, and I know this program a lot better than all of the Adobe programs because I've been working with it for years and years. And we had to like copy another artist he picked and do it in like his style, so it's basically a deep fake of Bankov, and it actually turned out pretty cool. Funny story about that one, that I already told you guys that I don't really like that teacher that much, and he basically is like, even though he's like the graphic design teacher, he hates digital art. Okay, your whole field is like built on doing everything digital, and you hate it. Why? So he basically wanted us to do everything we can on paper, like even something like this where photoshopping it makes a lot more sense, or something like this, you know. I have a lot more digital stuff from that class as well, which I'm gonna show, but still, bear with me. He then, like, on that critique for like big posters, he went on and roasted every single one who did like the typography, which we had to like do ourselves, who did that like digitally. And he was like, yeah, like you can tell that it's like not, it doesn't have the feel of it being on paper, you know, it's not that free and stuff. Everyone was like losing their mind about it because, like, my guy, we have to like do this and print it out. What do you mean we have to do like every letter on like a big piece of paper and then like scan it in and then put it into the program and like shop the background? Like, we have 10 other subjects that all give assignments. Please. And the funniest thing is, he was like going around asking everyone, oh yeah, this one was done digitally, right? Yeah, I can tell. And when it came to my one, I like did the text digitally, but like I wrote it myself because the guy was writing his stuff himself. And he came to my one and he was like, yeah, this was done on paper, right? I was like, no, I did the whole thing digitally. And he was like, it's still good though. And the whole class was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's like, yeah, He was like trying to find something bad about it to hate on digital art, and he couldn't find it, and then I was like, it's still good though. And then he moved on. Me and my friends afterwards, we were dying about this one. This teacher in general, he was like, throughout the whole year, he's just like saying the funniest stuff. For the same class, I also did this thing, which is like, yeah. This assignment I forgot, and I did at like 1 a.m. because I had to show it in class, but I forgot about it. Shout out to my friend who reminded me. We were like talking about something completely else, and then she was like, oh man, I have to go off now because I still have to do the assignment for tomorrow. Girl, which assignment? The assignment for tomorrow. You don't remember like the whole poster with the concept and oh my god. For the same class, we had to also like do this thing where I'm gonna do it like this because you shall not read my name. Where we do like where we start like with a square and then like do variations of it, like change it into a pattern. And I started with like this and then did this. We had to do like 10. Which was making it harder because you couldn't just stop when you thought, yeah, the pattern is good now. You had to just keep going and going. It just looks like you took psychedelics and went ham, but okay. Yeah, and that's like, without this one, that's like the end pattern. Yeah. This one I also rushed pretty much because I didn't really want to do it. And like inspired by the pattern, we had to do it like in this format. This one I kind of just stopped halfway through, but he really liked this one. The funny thing is, this professor liked everything I did. And this was like the subject I was least passionate about, and it was like doing everything like last minute. And he was just like, oh yeah, that's really good. Okay. Thanks a lot. Okay, while we at it with the showing digital stuff, I'm just gonna show the other things I have digitally. I think I'm gonna show you this one real quick because this is like, we had like a photography and Photoshop class, but I did a photo of a classmate for every assignment and then shopped it in Photoshop. So I obviously cannot show the photos of that. But for one of those assignments, we had like, it was groups, always like, groups of 2. And we couldn't like get the photo in time because she had stuff to do, I guess, and then didn't deliver the photo, so I couldn't do the assignment. So I basically did the sketch of the concept to at least have something. It was like about doing a crappy book cover of some sorts. It was like, yeah, do a motivational book, but like all of these books are always like kind of wacky. So we did like this thing, how to not suck. And then we had to exaggerate the facial features, so we then You know, she did like a worried smile in the photo, and then I shot her mouth, like smiling bigger and more cartoony, everything, you know. But that's like the only thing I can show from this class, so yeah. Photography also isn't really my subject, but when you do 11 subjects, of course, you don't like every single one of them. But at least I have tried all of them now, so yeah, I cannot like... I do like the concept of them doing that, honestly, because now no one is gonna be like, oh no, I wish I would have known what you're gonna do in photography class, then I would have taken that class, because I do really like Photoshop, working with Photoshop and stuff, you know? So I do really like that. Yeah, for that one, I must get the sketchbook out. The small one, yeah. This was like for typography class. This were like sketches I did for a magazine cover we had to do. And this is the final cover. I do kind of like this cover, but I don't know. In my head it looked cooler than the outcome, but I think, yeah. The funny thing was, like, everyone went like very graphical, like very graphic design with this, and just like half a circle and then like the title and stuff, and I did like a whole... I went edgelord. Yeah, but I really enjoyed drawing like this, because that's like not really my style anymore, but like this very like hard edge style I do quite enjoy doing. So yeah, it was fun to do, so that's a win. What else do I have from that class? We had to do like another thing that was like about we had to do like a 3D letter and then like hang it up. And I took the letter D because you can do this in interesting ways. So yeah, I like basically did it like this, and I took a square paper. We had to do a square paper, and I cut out 2 triangles and like glued them on and like had like a bit in between and like lifted them up like that. And when you like, when the light is coming in the right angle, you can like see that they're like lifted. And he did really like that. But I like the concept, but doing it was so tedious. I hated it. Yeah. We also had like a CGI class, and I was first thinking that I'm gonna pick that class, and thank God that we had the first year to try out the subjects, because I realized that even though 3D sounds very cool, I hate working with Blender. And this was the end product of a lot of tears and a lot of hours, but even though it might look fine on this picture, the whole polygon system of this thing is so wrong. We had like tutorials, like full on YouTube video tutorials by our teacher, bless this man, uploaded for us, like to do this thing step by step, and I still couldn't do it. I wasn't the only one, but like the weird thing about Blender is that even though you press the exact same keys, the exact same button, sometimes the program just does other things. Because you did something that didn't change anything 10 steps ago, which now makes a change. And then everything is wrong all of a sudden. And I was losing my mind about this thing. Oh my god, this took way too long. I had to start the bottom part, I think 2 times until I got it right, kind of right enough. Like, the floor of this thing is here, and I'm not kidding, because I couldn't figure out to put it back down, and it didn't work. And if I pushed it down, the whole sides would cave in. And I was like, no one's gonna open the box, right? It's okay. It's just half a box, then it's fine. Yeah. I am very happy to not have chosen this one. But yeah, that's that. Then there was the other subject, which I am, well, not one of my favorites, let's say like that. But the assignments were fun to do, honestly. It's for the inside of rooms, and for event halls and stuff, the design for those. And for that subject, we had to do basically 3 things, and then just upload them at the end of the year. And the first thing was to go somewhere in public and analyze the public space. And I went to a cafe and did, first of all, we had to write down stuff and all that, but I don't think anyone cares about those notes. And I did a sketch of the place. You basically had to write down how does it smell? Is it loud in there? Is it cold? Is the lighting good? Did they mess up something else? Is there enough windows and stuff? You also had to do a plan thingy of the place. And while doing this is the thing I did on location, and you can tell that I did not use a ruler, because if you're sitting in a cafe and you basically have to stand up and start counting the windows. First of all, everyone looks at you like you are crazy. There's old people sitting there and eating their lunch or something and drinking coffee, and then all of a sudden they look at you, and you're standing there with this big ass thingy in your hand, and you're doing something, and they're huh, what are you? And then you're just standing there, and you're okay, there's a window, there's another window, there's a door. Is there a door or a window? And you have to figure out, because the doors and windows were all out of, all the same glass, and oh my god. But that was so ugly that I did it with a ruler at home, but you can barely see it. But it's just a nicer version of the thing. And the second assignment was about putting text from a song into a white room, just kind of a thing you would see in a museum. And I basically we just had to draw the concept out. And I took the song Just Another Body by Kettle Decap. And for everyone who knows the band, that's kind of a silly, funny choice, but yeah. I think it kind of worked out well. The whole idea was that you go in and that you first read, I'm just a body, alive but rotting, and then you could read Burning Our Hive. And then you could also walk in further and then read A Storm of Flies That Hides Behind These Eyes, I'm Just a Body, 8 Billion Like Me, Burning Our Hive, the song text. And yeah, she did like the teacher of that subject did like a whole rant about rock and park. So she's not very fond of like rock. And I threw in some death metal, so I don't know if she was pissed about it or not, because we did not see her after she like graded these. But she didn't fail me, so I think she was fine enough. She probably didn't look it up, so yeah, it should be fine. It was fun to do because, you know, I think it was like a cool idea to have like about burning our hives. It works, but this gives like more context when you work it further. Yeah, then the last assignment I did for that class was, that one was my absolute favorite, because we had to like, basically her assignment was like very vague, like you could have basically done almost anything. You just had to like portray someone in a room, a famous person, and like do a portrait in a room of a famous person, and like, but don't, and then she went on to say like, yeah, but don't just put a picture of him on the wall or something like that. Portray him in this room. And like she showed us like bad examples from like the year prior, but she never showed us a good example. So like basically no one knew what she wanted. We just knew like 3 things she didn't want, which was like, don't put just like a figure of him in the room, and don't just put like a like taped portrait, literal portrait picture of him on the wall. Like, okay. So I basically like, I took the drummer Emerson Barrett of the band Palais Royale and like put his personality and made it a room, if that makes sense. This is like the line art. I mean, I didn't really work it out, and then I like kind of like, you know, did like fancy colors and like a lighting effect on it to make it look a bit cooler, you know, because yeah, I do really like this drummer and the band. So I kind of went a bit overboard with this project and like put a lot of details fans of them might, maybe you would even like see them better, you know, like the gas mask and like all the things he always writes down and stuff. But I am not very sure if she meant it like that. If she really meant like, yeah, like show his personality in as a room, because she like said a portrait in a room, but she didn't want a portrait in a room. So maybe I'm just stupid and I completely misunderstood the assignment, because yeah, I don't know, but she didn't want a portrait. She like showed us like literal portraits in rooms, like over the whole wall, or like a figure and stuff, and she was like, yeah, but not like that. Girl, what do you want? Like, so I did it like in a very like abstract way, like putting things that represent his personality into a room. I don't know. It should be fine. She didn't fail me, so yeah, for the first year we didn't get grades for obvious reasons, because like, you know, we were just trying out all of these different subjects. Grading them would be like kind of crazy. So you can just like fail the subject and then might have to retake it. Or you can like, yeah, you just have to like, actually you just have to do the assignments. You don't even have to do them very good for any of them. You just have to do them, and if you do them, you don't fail. As easy as that. Because it was just about trying it out. Yeah. Then we had another. This one was a very weird subject, for the simple reason that we didn't actually have a teacher for it. Like, the teacher for this subject like quit a year ago, and they couldn't find a replacement. So we just basically had the other teachers teach this subject that is not theirs. so they all did like something else. And in the end, we had to do a assignment that had nothing to do with any of the things we did in this whole class, which was to do like, it's like a CGO class, which is like CGI but like for objects, you know. And we had to like take an object, and I took my headphones. We had to do a complex object. But we had to be using it daily. Now, which object do you use daily that has like a complex enough form to like digest it in like a lot of pages? Yeah, not a lot, honestly, and it had to be like something technical. And it couldn't be a pencil. No, that's too easy. And oh yeah, a phone is also not suited. And don't take your laptop because that's not complex enough of a form. He like basically said no to everything that you use daily, and I had to like, headphones was the only thing left, kind of. Yeah, I mean, I don't use them every day, but daily enough, I guess. Yeah, so first of all, we had like pictures of them. And then we have like, you know, drawings of them, like of the mechanism of them. And for this one, I really was stupid because I kind of overread a word which made a lot of the things different in the assignment, because he wanted us to put the object into 3 contexts. Like, I put them into like, and 2 of them were not supposed to be things you do all the time with this object, is what I thought. But 2 of them were supposed to be very crazy, out of pocket things, like, I don't know, putting a plant into your headphones thingy, like, you know, the ear thing. And like, I overread the word, I don't know, like crazy or something, crazy context or something. And I just thought like a thing you do daily, and I think other people could do with this daily. So I just like did like, yeah, you can listen to music with these headphones even in like loud environments because they can noise cancel. Great, that's what I do with them. But you could also call people while you're at the store, which I never do because I don't do the grocery shopping, and I don't call people while I'm outside. But you could. And like, this guy must have been like, oh, she thinks grocery shopping and like calling people is out of pocket? Interesting. You can talk to people while having these headphones on with the A and B function, which makes you hear the people around you while listening to music, which I sometimes do, but I was like, I don't know what else to do with these. Wow, so out of pocket. He must have thought that I'm like very stupid, but I just can't read. Yeah, yay. Anyways, so yeah, we have headphones. Okay, you know what? I have like another subject, but like I cannot really like say much about this one because it's like about text. Literally, like, yeah. Just a fun note to this. The third thing we had to do for this one was like do a story of some sort. Like either like a life story you lived, a memory of some kind, or just like a story that is not written down. And I put into words like the whole story of the demolition lovers. Yeah, but that was very funny. And he also didn't let me fail, so it must have been okay. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna continue with this. At school you could go into life drawing. And I, as a person who's very fixated on the drawing part of art, was very, very happy about that. But I sadly only have 2 of those things left that I did there, because the other pieces, like one of them he just straight up stole for hanging it up to like promote his course. It's like, okay man, I guess. I never got it back. Like I don't know where this one went. And like 1 or 2 I like didn't take with me because it was like raining and they were like very big, so they would have been destroyed anyways, and then they were gone. So yeah. And first we have like, you see, yeah, this one. I really like the body, but I hate the head. This is why I like also like just crammed it into my bag, because I was so mad about this. I had like this wooden drawing board on my lap, and I was like looking at the model and drawing. And while I was like drawing it, it looked totally fine, because I had like the drawing board like in an angle to my face. He was like walking around and like saying his stuff to everyone, you know. He went to mine and was like, yeah, don't you think your head is a bit too big? And when I lifted this thing up, her head is ginormous. And I didn't realize, because it like, out of the angle, it looked like her head was completely fine. Like, I can like recreate this angle, like kind of tilted like this, you know. Her head was completely fine out of my angle, but in reality, it was totally not. So without the head, the proportions are like okay. They are like not perfect, but they're okay. And the shading in this part is okay. And I do like the hands. Yeah. And the face doesn't look so bad in itself, but it's so big. And it was even bigger. Like I don't know if you can see, but like it was like here. Because it was in such a like heavy angle. I was like, oh my god, never doing that again. And I did learn my lesson for the next one. And this one is not as heavily distorted, because I did not draw at such an angle. But I have to censor this one because it's live drawing and people don't wear that much when they do that, right? Yeah. I think I can show these because I didn't capture the face of the model very well. It doesn't look like her. So, yeah. If people like click on this for like drawing stuff, the whole first part of this video is gonna be like so redundant. If I figure out how, I will like put some kind of timestamps or something for when the drawing part starts. Because yeah, the first part is just me ranting about all the other subjects. Yeah, and sadly that's all I have from that like live drawing thing. I went like, I don't know, a couple of times, 4 to 5 times or something. Okay, then I'm gonna like continue with my illustration class, I think. And for that, I'm gonna start with this assignment. We had to like do observational drawing for class, and like most of these happened in like one night, because I forgot the deadline for this one. So I basically did an all-nighter to finish this. A bunch of these. I'm just gonna say which one was like the next day. This was the first, which these are just like books from the shelf here, these books. And the setup for the phone is also like very ridiculous. It's like sitting on like a pile of books, and then I like took one book a bit out and like put it on there. But it works. This is like a train figurine thingy I have. Yeah, and I drew that. because it was the middle of the night and I could not go outside to do live drawing. Of course not. So I just drew things I had in my room. Then I drew my vinyls and my silly little figures I have there. This silly guy. Twins. Yeah. Still the same night that I drew this music box. While drawing all of these, I was watching this 4-episode anime. I think it was Vampire in the Garden, and oh my god, why was it so sad? But it was so pretty, and I rewatched 3 times ever since because it's so good. Then I drew a candle with, this was ballpoint pen, I think. And this, I think, is the last thing of the night. I just drew, oh yeah, he's also here. I drew this silly little guy with, I think, an ink pen or something. Yeah. And then I went to school and realized that, yeah, we had put it there, and she looked through it and stuff, but if people didn't have it, she wasn't mad about it. So pulling an all-nighter was kind of unnecessary, but yeah. Anyways, I then went on in class. I was yeah, guys, all of you just drew your bedrooms and such. It's okay, but please try to go outside for live drawing. And so I went outside and drew kind of this facade of the church. And yeah, it was so cold outside while I was doing this, and it was the time before Christmas, so there was a whole choir in front of it that just halfway through started singing Christmas songs. And I was oh no, oh no. But I couldn't just leave because I wasn't done yet, and then I ended up not even liking it. But I think it was yeah, it was a good practice, I guess. Then on another day, I went and did this, sitting on a bench and just drawing cafe. The cafe that was next to the bench, and the city a bit. Yeah, it was I don't know, 4 p.m. or something, and this guy was drinking some wine and stuff, and I don't know, he was the only one who noticed that I was drawing, and he was very suspicious of me. It's dude, it's not gonna resemble you. Do not fear. This looks nothing like you. It looks like some guy. And then we have another one out of my bedroom, because I realized that I am an anxious person and I don't like drawing outside that much, which I have to fix, but it was cold anyways. Yeah. So I drew my room, which was not cleaned, but I was it kind of has something about it, having there 2 bowls standing there and empty bottles and stuff. It has something about it, right? And I really did not want to clean my room just for drawing it. So, and then I was oh man, I'm so tired. I really want to go into my bed. So I had to do another drawing, so I drew my bed. I was damn, my pillow looks so good. I just want to sleep. And so I did a fan drawing. Oh yeah, there's more. And yeah, and then the next day I had to draw in class, and we have this mannequin figure in the students' room, I guess would it be. And some people drew anime eyes on it, but it just looks I drew very flat eyes on a 3D object. But that's what it is. They took a ballpoint pen and like drew it on it because it has no face, but yeah, now it has. And it's like always put in some clothes. I was like sitting on the floor and drawing it from, we had to like do weird angles, but the angle is not showing at all. And then I have a classmate of mine, which I was drawing from the top, but it doesn't look nothing like him, so I guess I can show this one. The next one is of another classmate, and it also looks nothing like her. I did her so dirty with her face. But it was like, it was like pen, so you couldn't erase it. So I was just stuck with that. Yeah, okay, this one was just like, I did this one at home. This had nothing to do with class. That's like, yeah. Just the last thing in the sketchbook. I got these, these type of sketchbooks just for class, like with the, the ones that are not books. I just got for class because I thought she may want to take the drawings with her, so that I could just rip the pages out. And ripping them out of a bind book would be don't like that. Normally, I have always normal books as sketchbooks. Yeah. The very first assignment, which kind of didn't really make sense of the first assignment, was a portrait of another classmate, kind of know your classmates games and such, like this, but draw it. And I do not have the original because she has it, and we're actually friends now, so that's pretty cool. But I do not like this portrait. I did it in the style of her favorite artist, which is this Japanese artist. If someone knows their name, you can drop it into the comments, or if I remember, I will put it into the caption. I do like her chest. I like this part, but I hate her face. And this is literally, this is a cutout of paper, because I had to improvise after messing up her mouth so bad that I was like, yeah, okay, either I'm gonna contacts after doing all of this. I was done with all of this, and then I did her mouth, and I was like, oh my god, it looked so bad. Ugh. It's like, am I gonna redo the whole thing now because I fucked up so bad? And then I went to school, and the whole school day I was stressing about it because I had to do it that day because next day was the deadline. And then the girl next to me was like, just slap paper onto it, collage and shit. It's like, girl, you're a genius. So I put it over and pretended it to be shattered glass, kind of changing the style there, as if, which kind of saved it. And the hair looks really cool, but I still don't like her face. And it doesn't look like her, so but besides from the face, it is quite neat. The next thing from that class was also in school. We what is it? Yeah, I did a blind drawing, and if any of you ever did a blind drawing, you know that it just ends up looking what is this? We had 1 minute or something, and we had to blind draw the person next to us, and these just look crazy. Girl, this is crazy. Okay, this page just looks like absolute madness. Then this was like with my left hand. This one looks acceptable, I guess. And this was blind again, and oh my god, with 2 pens. Blind with 2 pens. You cannot, I don't think you can see the red very well, but she just looks like she has a beard. like what? Yeah, and then we had to do like one line, and at that point in time I didn't realize how to do one line, and that I just could make it very messy. And like I do sketch like that. Like I sketch with just like continuous lines and just messy lines, you know, mess around with it. But I didn't do it for this thing because I thought, like, you know, but she wants us to make continuous lines, like a good line drawing, you know. And it would have looked so much better if I could have just went, you know. Anyways, and then I drew her normal just to keep my sanity and to honor her, because she looks so... She's such a pretty girl, like, you know, you cannot just have like so many ugly drawings of her. They're not drawn. I think this one is, you cannot see much of her face, so, you know. I didn't finish this one because like the class was over, so yeah, I might finish this someday. Yeah, then with the same girl, I also did... Oh wait, before the end assignment, we had to also like do this thing, which was like, the only thing we had to do was use a weird paper format, and we were free to do it in like any medium ever existing. So I did like a digital drawing of my OCs, and I ended up like with this. I don't know, is it? Yeah, it's kind of like... Yeah. I think you get the idea. For like a good resolution of this, you can just go into my Instagram and check out the post. For which I had to like zoom in like this to post it. And then at the next slide you can see this with like big black sides. Because the format is so weird. But yeah, that was the assignment, you know. And she was like, yeah, she didn't really mean it like that, because she like meant in a more like people being squeezed into the paper instead of like making it very long and then putting flowy people inside it. But she was like, that's not really what I meant, but I'm not mad about it. It's still very cool, and I do really like the effort. So yeah. And now to the end assignment, which probably costed both of our sanities, because we so miscalculated how long this was going to take that was just insane. So half of these are not drawn by me. So every pink sketch is not by me, and every gray sketch is by me, and for the rendered ones for the first draft, I'm just gonna say it. So draft for the cover by them, not by me. Draft for like the first page of like text by me, not by me. And like the problem about this one was, I mean, it was like she was very, very fast doing this, and I was very slow, because I don't know, I at first I like zoomed in way too much. For like, for example, this bow has like a million details in it that you just cannot see, and I needed to like realize that zooming in into the abyss was not going to make it look any better and just steal time. So yeah, I had to fix that later. Yeah, so I'm just gonna quickly go through it and then say who made what in the final. The problem was that like for the drawings took way longer than expected. Later. And like the formatting took 8 hours because we wanted it to be like, the whole thing is like obviously like inspired by like manga. So we wanted the whole thing to be like bound like a manga. But when you do that, the whole layout system of any program is not working anymore, like the booklet thing. And we also didn't want to like glue 2 pages together or have like a blank page between every page. No, we wanted to have like a normal book, like the thing is on the front and the other thing is on the back. So we had to like manually, like, there probably was some kind of way to do this in an easier way, but we didn't know how. So we like manually like arranged every page in a way that should make sense in a program. And like the way I had to do this was like so weird. I had to like put the first page and then like do it flipped and then flip them around and for them to work as a booklet. And like literally the file looked so weird that the people like, we had to like print the pages out to have like a good printing of them. And the people at the printing store were like literally, I think your file is broken. I was like, what do you mean my file is broken that I worked on for last 9 or 8 hours? What do you mean? And I went there like up to their computer and they were like, look, everything's like upside down. And like I was like, no, this is the right, believe me, this is right. Like it looked so crazy, but like in the way you have to like fold them together and like when you like put all of them into each other and then bind them and then it did kind of work out, but it was such a pain. Oh my god. And the cover is by them, not by me. I did the tree and she wrote the text. Like I typed it out and I put it into a picture, but like she wrote the text I had to type in. This is by me. This note. I'm gonna ask her if she like wants. She doesn't really do social media, so I cannot really tag her. But she's such a great artist. This one's by me. Just hope. Then this one is by me. And this one is not by me. And then this one is by me. And this one is not. This double page is by me. And for this one, I was very scared of my teacher's like reaction. But she went like, whoa, okay. And then was like fine about it, so yeah. But I mean, she saw enough. She's a teacher, so I don't think she's... Yeah. I was just a bit scared, but I was like probably a bit... Of course she's not gonna be weird about it. It's her job, like, This one is by me. This one is not. For most of these, like... Yeah, the whole concept of the mermaid was like that she's a siren, not a mermaid. She's a siren and she's like a vampire and they're like gay. And they are not wearing clothes most of the time because they are in the water. So I had to like be a bit careful. I hope everything is covered that needs to be covered. And this is the only page that made me so mad because what happened with the hair? I don't get what happened here. Like, and I perfectly split the picture in half, and I literally had to put it. One I had to put like here into the layout, like 3 pages prior, and the other one on flipped and like mirrored into like 3 pages later to have this. And then the hair is not working. Like, the layout worked out, and then I don't know, I cut it wrong, I guess, but this made me so mad. Yeah, and these are both by me. And for some reason, for this one and for the first one, the screen tones were just like very, very like weirdly distorted by the printer, but yeah. And yeah, the back I cannot show you because that's just our names. Yeah, that was like all of the main subjects and all of the things I can show from the main subject. And now to some things I have in my sketchbook from school. I mean, okay, this one I did while I was at school. This is not in the curriculum, but you know. But there's other things that are more related. I might someday do a sketchbook tour, honestly, because, I don't know, maybe you are interested. This was like also at school. I was just drawing the people around me. And this, warning, abominations coming. Do you know, like this, you know, this game we like put, like fold papers and then like one person draws like the head and then you flip the paper and then another person draws the body and the other person like draws the feet. And we, like one of our classes was cancelled, but we had like other classes later, so we were all like just sitting around doing nothing. So we played that game. And like I drew the characters that like resulted from this game. And what in the world? But like that's like what's about that. Like, of course that's gonna happen when you play this game. But these characters are so funny. These are so funny. Yeah. This was good. Okay, wait. Some of these are not covered, so I may actually not do it in the camera because YouTube may get mad. Where is it here? Yeah. Then we had an exhibition. And the funny thing is, the exhibition was not from our illustration, like, not organized by an illustration class, but by typography. But we could do anything we want for this exhibition. And these are just sketches I did while I was there of people. Because we were just like sitting around and I had to wait until the end to take my piece with me. So yeah. Oh. For the piece, I was honestly struggling a lot doing this one because I was like, oh my god, we're gonna hang it up. It has to be good. It just kind of stressed me out I mean, I knew that it didn't really need to be good for any sort of reason because this wasn't for a grade, this wasn't for like a big audience. That just was like the teachers and like some parents and something, like, you know, but still. And so I kind of stressed about it. So I have like 3 pieces I did not use. This was the first one. It's okay, but I was like, this is not good enough to hang up. And then I really wanted to do something about the backstory of my OC because the manga of that is like on the way. It's like in the making and I'm like pretty far into it. So I was like, yeah, let's promote that while I'm at it. Yeah, so I first did this sketch for this idea, which I was like, yeah, this is like too close here. So I was like, no, let's do it again. And the second sketch I inked then ended up not liking it all. I was like, yeah, the inking is okay. Like, in general, it's okay. But overall, it kind of doesn't look good. Like, I ended up not liking the composition, and then I was like, I was very mad. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna draw something now. And then if I throw it away, it's okay. I can use as many paper as I want. And that piece turned out to be the one that I actually like took for the exhibition. Oh, I hope this is not gonna like... Okay, wait. Yeah, and that was like the one that I used. I think you can even tell that I was very mad while drawing this, because I don't know, it's like so energetic somehow, I don't know. But I ended up actually liking this one, and people actually asked me about my story, and I did, I think, gain a few followers, like 2 or something. Someone's mom asked me about my manga. So yeah. But I do, in fact, really like this one. And then there was also... Oh my god. There's also this other, like, drawing competition thing we had, like, from school. And it was like, yeah, like, the concept is like, yeah, medieval stuff. And I was like, yeah, let's do knights, you know? A very epic kind of like drawing of knights. Oh, that would be cool, right? So I'm doing like a whole rendered piece of knights, you know, like a burning city and all of that, and it's like very... It took so long. And they printed, look, this is the size of like a card from a card game. And they also made cards for a card game, you know. But they never told anyone. They were like, yeah, that was a surprise. That we're not doing a zine booklet like every other year where a rendered piece might actually look good. So they did this, and it looks like shit. And I was kind of mad about it because it took so long, and it got in. But what is this? Like, come on. Oh, there's actually one thing I forgot about. Or 2 things. Yeah. I also made like, for typography class, also made like an animation. And yeah. This one was like the storyboard for that. And like for film class, I cannot show you I cannot show you anything, honestly. Yeah, I have. This one is from film class. This is also like a storyboard. But of course, the things we filmed are with people from my class, and I do not even have these files. Those were the sketches for the zine, if anyone... Yeah, I think that was everything. Overall, I think the first year was, even though it was quite stressful, just for the sheer amount of things we had to like do, it was very, very fun. So I hope this kind of gives some people a bit of like an idea as to kind of a bit of, I don't know, guidance of like the type of things you do at art school, even work for you or not. These are like some sketches for the weird format piece. I know that in other countries, mostly America, that school can be very, very expensive there, so I don't know how much alignment there is between the things we do here and you do there, so take the things I do with a grain of salt if you're from other areas. But yeah, even if this wasn't helpful for someone, I hope it was at least somewhat entertaining. And I wish everyone a nice day, or a nice night, or whatever it is at your side of the world. And see you next time.